The silence in Lunar Shipyard 7 was broken only by the steady hum of quantum forges and the occasional burst of plasma welding. Commander Elena Reyes stood at the observation deck, her dark eyes fixed on the massive shape taking form below. The vessel's hull gleamed with an otherworldly sheen, its surface rippling like liquid mercury under the harsh industrial lights. Quite a sight, isn't she? The voice belonged to Dr. Samira Patel, chief engineer of Project Tsunami. The scientist's holographic avatar materialized beside Reyes, her form flickering with subtle quantum distortions. The first and possibly last of her kind. Reyes nodded, her expression remaining neutral despite the weight pressing down on her shoulders. 3 years ago, the Meridians had emerged from the depths of space, their crystalline ships tearing through Earth's defense fleet like paper. Within months, they had drained the Pacific Ocean, converting its waters into some form of exotic matter that powered their vessels. The Atlantic was next, and with it would go humanity's last hope of survival. The wave drive tests. Reyes asked, her voice carrying the crisp authority that had earned her this command. Successful, finally. Samira's avatar gestured, bringing up a holographic display of complex quantum equations. We've managed to stabilize the quantum field. The ship can now generate its own space-time distortions, similar to how the Meridians travel. But we've taken it further. We can manipulate the very fabric of space around us. The implications were staggering. Since the Meridians' arrival, humanity had been playing catch-up, reverse engineering what little they could from debris of fallen alien ships. But the Tsunami-Class represented something entirely new, a fusion of stolen alien tech and human innovation. "Show me," Reyes commanded. The holographic display shifted, showing footage from the previous day's test. A smaller prototype vessel, barely a quarter of the size of the main ship, seemed to ripple and blur. Space itself appeared to fold around it, like waves breaking against a shore. Then, in an instant, it was gone, only to reappear 50 kilometers away. "That's not teleportation," Samira explained, her eyes gleaming with pride. "We're actually riding waves of space-time itself. The Meridians can only cut through space. We can surf it." A klaxon suddenly blared through the shipyard, its urgent tone sending chills down Reyes' spine. Red emergency lights began pulsing along the corridors. Multiple Meridian signatures detected. The AI's voice echoed through the facility. 3 capital ships emerging from fold space. Projected target: Lunar Shipyard 7. Reyes' mind raced. The shipyard's location was humanity's most closely guarded secret. If the Meridians had found them now. "How long until the tsunami is ready?" she demanded, already moving toward the command center. Samira's avatar kept pace, her expression grim. "The wave drive is operational, but we haven't run a full systems test. Weapons are at 60%. Life support is barely initialized. She's not ready, Elena." "She'll have to be." Reyes reached the command center, where organized chaos had erupted. Officers and technicians rushed between stations, preparing for what everyone knew would be a devastating attack. Through the main viewport, she could see the first signs of the Meridian ships. Reality itself seemed to crack as their crystalline vessels emerged from fold space. "Begin emergency launch procedures," Reyes ordered, her voice cutting through the panic. "All non-essential personnel to evacuation stations. Dr. Patel, I need you and your core team in the neural interface chamber. We're taking her out." "The neural interface hasn't been calibrated," Samira protested. "The feedback could kill you. If those ships reach us, we're all dead anyway." Reyes turned to face her friend and colleague. "This is what we built her for, Samira. Time to see if our gamble pays off." The next 20 minutes passed in a blur of activity. Reyes found herself in the neural interface chamber, technicians attaching quantum sensors to her temples and spine. Through the ship's external sensors, she could see the Meridian vessels approaching, their crystalline structures pulsing with stolen ocean water converted to exotic matter. Neural interface initializing. Samara's voice came through the ship's internal systems. "Elena, if this works, you're going to experience something no human ever has before. The ship's consciousness will merge with yours. Don't fight it." Reyes took a deep breath as the neural link activated. For a moment, there was pain, white-hot and all-consuming. Then something extraordinary happened. Her consciousness expanded, flowing through quantum circuits and crystal matrices. She could feel every centimeter of the massive ship as if it were her own body. The wave drive hummed at her core, ready to bend reality itself to her will. Through the ship's sensors, she perceived the Meridian vessels with crystal clarity. They were beautiful in their alien way, but she could also see their weaknesses now. The subtle fluctuations in their quantum fields, the way their stolen water power pulsed through crystalline veins. "All stations report ready," announced the tactical officer, his voice seeming to come from both the comm system and directly into her expanded consciousness. "Meridian ships entering weapons range in 3 minutes." Reyes felt a smile cross her physical lips as she merged more deeply with the ship's systems. The Tsunami-Class wasn't just humanity's latest weapon. It was evolution, born of desperation and innovation. And she was about to show the Meridians exactly what humanity could do when pushed to the edge. "Plot an intercept course," she commanded, feeling the massive engines power up through her expanded awareness. "It's time to make some waves." The Meridian ships approached with predatory grace, their crystalline structures refracting the stark sunlight of lunar dawn. Through her neural link with the Tsunami, Commander Reyes could perceive the complex quantum fields surrounding each vessel, rippling distortions in spacetime that made conventional weapons useless against them. "Their scanning patterns are intensifying," reported Lieutenant James Chen from Tactical. "They're trying to get a lock on us." Reyes allowed herself a small smile, feeling the Tsunami's advanced stealth systems through her expanded consciousness. The ship's quantum field generators were creating a bubble of distorted spacetime around them, making them nearly invisible to conventional sensors. It was like being wrapped in a cloak of bent light and twisted reality. "Let them try," she responded, her voice carrying through both physical and neural channels. "Samira, how's the wave drive holding up?" Dr. Patel's response came through the neural link, accompanied by streams of technical data. "Stable for now. But Elena, we're detecting something odd about their power signatures. The exotic matter they converted from Earth's oceans, they're using it differently than we've seen before." Reyes directed more of the ship's sensors toward the approaching vessels, and her expanded consciousness registered what Samira meant. The stolen water, transformed into exotic matter, wasn't just powering their ships, it was changing them. The crystalline structures were growing, adapting, becoming more complex with each passing moment. "They're evolving," Reyes realized. "The water isn't just fuel. It's raw material for their biocrystal technology." The implications were staggering. If they succeeded in draining Earth's oceans, they wouldn't just power their fleet. They would build an armada beyond imagination. The nearest Meridian vessel suddenly fired, launching a beam of coherent energy that would have torn through any conventional ship's hull. But the Tsunami wasn't conventional. Reyes felt the attack coming through her neural link and reacted instinctively. Space itself seemed to bend around them, the energy beam sliding past like water around a stone. "Wave drive at full power," Reyes commanded. "Let's show them what we can do." She reached out through the neural interface, feeling the massive quantum engines surge to life. The wave drive's unique frequencies resonated through her consciousness as reality itself began to ripple around the ship. The sensation was indescribable, like being everywhere and nowhere at once, surfing the quantum foam between moments of spacetime. The Tsunami vanished, riding a wave of distorted spacetime, only to reappear behind the nearest Meridian vessel. Their quantum sensors, calibrated to detect conventional propulsion and fold space jumps, couldn't track the unique distortions created by the wave drive. "Target locked," Chen reported, his voice tight with concentration. "Quantum cascade weapons charge. Fire." The Tsunami's main weapons activated, unleashing not energy or projectiles, but cascading waves of quantum disruption. The attack struck the Meridian ship's crystalline structure, creating a resonance that shattered its carefully maintained quantum fields. The alien vessel's biocrystal matrix began to break down, its exotic matter power source destabilizing. But the Meridians weren't defeated easily. The remaining two ships responded with devastating coordination, launching a barrage of attacks that lit up space with deadly energy. Rise guided the Tsunami through the assault, riding waves of bent space-time, each maneuver bringing them closer to their targets. Power fluctuation in the wave drive. Samira's voice cut through the neural link. The quantum field is becoming unstable. Rise felt it. A growing dissonance in the ship's systems, like an orchestra slowly falling out of tune. The neural interface began to burn, sending spikes of pain through her expanded consciousness. But through the pain came revelation. The Meridian's exotic matter technology and the Tsunami's wave drive operated on similar principles. Both manipulated the fundamental fabric of space-time. But where the aliens brute forced their way through reality, the Tsunami could ride its natural currents and eddies. Recalibrating wave drive frequency, Rise announced, pushing through the pain. Matching their quantum field resonance. Elena, that's too dangerous. Samira protested. The feedback could tear the ship apart. Trust me. Rise guided the Tsunami into a complex series of space-time distortions, each movement perfectly timed to the pulses of exotic matter energy from the Meridian ships. The wave drive's frequency shifted, harmonizing with the alien vessel's quantum fields. And then, at the perfect moment, she reversed the polarity. The effect was devastating. The Tsunami's quantum wake crashed into the Meridian ships like a tsunami wave hitting a shoreline. Their carefully maintained exotic matter containment fields collapsed, causing cascading failures throughout their biocrystal structures. The alien vessels began to break apart, their stolen water power dispersing into space in clouds of shimmering quantum particles. Multiple reactor breaches detected, Chen reported, his voice filled with disbelief. They're breaking up. Through the neural link, Rise felt the victory as if it were happening within her own body. But she also sensed something else. A final transmission burst from the dying Meridian ships, carrying vast amounts of data toward the outer solar system. They were scouts, she realized, the information flowing through her expanded consciousness, part of a much larger force. And now they know what we can do. As the last crystalline fragments of the Meridian vessels drifted into space, Rise maintained her neural connection with the Tsunami, feeling the ship's systems slowly stabilize. They had won this battle, but the real war was just beginning. The Meridians would return, and next time they would be ready for humanity's new weapon. But humanity would be ready too. The Tsunami-Class had proven itself in combat, demonstrating that Earth's defenders could do more than just reverse-engineer alien technology. They could improve upon it, adapt it, make it their own. Through innovation and determination, they had found a way to fight back. Take us home, Rise commanded, already planning for the battles to come. We have work to do. The holographic war room deep within Luna Base hummed with tension as Commander Rise presented the data recovered from the destroyed Meridian scouts. Three-dimensional projections of crystalline ships rotated above the conference table, their structures now haunting familiar to everyone present. The transmission we intercepted wasn't just battle data, Rise explained, her neural interface allowing her to manipulate the holograms with thought alone. It was a complete strategic assessment of Earth's defenses, including details about the Tsunami project. But it also contained something else, their master plan. The holographic display shifted, showing a massive crystalline structure unlike anything they'd seen before. It dwarfed the scout ships they'd encountered, its complex geometric patterns suggesting power beyond imagination. This is their world drinker, Rice continued, feeling phantom echoes of the wave drive through her neural link, even though the Tsunami was docked several kilometers away. It's not just a ship, It's a mobile planetary engineering system. The scouts weren't just gathering intelligence. They were preparing the way for this. Admiral Chen, her weathered face illuminated by the holographic glow, leaned forward. How much time do we have? Based on the transmission data, the World Drinker will arrive in 72 hours. It's already past Neptune's orbit. Rise manipulated the display again, showing projected course calculations. When it arrives, it won't just drain our oceans like the smaller ships. It will convert Earth's entire hydrosphere into exotic matter in a single operation. The room erupted in murmurs of horror and disbelief. Dr. Patel, attending via quantum-linked avatar, spoke up. The energy release from such a conversion would render the planet's surface uninhabitable. They're not just stealing our water. They're terraforming Earth for their own purposes. Then we stop them, Chen declared, her voice cutting through the chaos. Commander Rise, your engagement with the scout ships proved that Tsunami-Class can counter their technology. What do you need? Rise had been preparing for this question since their return from the battle. Through her neural link with the ship, she had spent countless hours analyzing the combat data, running simulations, searching for any advantage they could find. The Tsunami can't do this alone, she admitted. The World Drinker is too massive, its quantum field's too powerful. We need a fleet, she gestured, and the holographic display showed modified designs of existing Earth ships. Dr. Patel and her team have developed a way to retrofit our remaining vessels with scaled-down versions of the wave drive technology. The modifications won't be as effective as the Tsunami's full system, Samira added, her avatar flickering with quantum distortion. But they'll allow our ships to partially surf the space-time distortions created by the tsunami. We can ride in its wake, so to speak. Admiral Chen studied the proposed modifications. How many ships can we upgrade in 72 hours? With all available resources and fabrication facilities working at maximum capacity, Samira calculated quickly. Maybe 30 vessels. It won't be pretty. We'll have to strip down civilian ships, research vessels, anything that can hold a quantum core. Do it, Chen ordered. I'll coordinate with the remaining Earth Defense Forces. Commander Rise, this operation is yours to plan. What's our strategy? Rise expanded the holographic display, showing the space between Earth and Mars. We can't let the World Drinker reach Earth's orbit. Once it begins the conversion process, we won't be able to stop it. We need to engage it here, in open space, where we can maneuver. The display highlighted a region near the asteroid belt. The Meridians use the exotic matter they harvest to maintain their quantum fields. Their ships are nearly invulnerable because of it. But the World Drinker will be carrying enough power to convert an entire planet's oceans. That much exotic matter in one place creates a unique vulnerability. The quantum cascade effect, Samira realized, her avatar's eyes widening. If we can disrupt their containment fields, the resulting quantum backlash would tear their ship apart, Rise confirmed. But to get close enough, we'll need every ship working in perfect coordination. The tsunami will generate the primary space-time wave, and a retrofitted fleet will amplify it, creating a quantum tsunami powerful enough to break through their defenses. Admiral Chen nodded slowly. A single massive strike. No second chances. No second chances needed, Rise replied, her conviction absolute. Humanity didn't come this far to fail now. The next 48 hours passed in a blur of activity. Every shipyard and fabrication facility on and around Luna worked at maximum capacity, retrofitting vessels with quantum cores and simplified wave-drive systems. Crews trained constantly in simulators, learning to ride the space-time distortions that would be generated by the tsunami. Through it all, Reyes remained connected to her ship through the neural interface, fine-tuning their systems and running combat simulations. The constant connection was taking its toll. Neural feedback caused migraines and occasional sensory overload, but she refused to disconnect. Every moment of preparation could mean the difference between victory and extinction. 24 hours before the projected arrival of the World Drinker, the improvised fleet gathered in lunar orbit. 33 ships of various sizes and designs, their hulls now bearing the distinctive quantum field generators that would allow them to surf the tsunami's wake. Standing on the tsunami's bridge, physically and neurally connected to her ship, Rise addressed the assembled fleet commanders. What we're about to attempt has never been done before. The Meridians think they've seen everything humanity can do. They think they understand us, can predict us. They're wrong. She felt the combined power of the fleet through her neural link, a chorus of quantum frequencies waiting to be unleashed. We're not just fighting for our oceans, our planet, or even our species. We're fighting for the right to prove that humanity deserves its place among the stars. In 72 hours, we either make history or we become it. The fleet moved out in perfect formation, heading toward their confrontation with destiny. As they accelerated away from Earth, Rise caught a final glimpse of their blue planet through the ship's sensors. Soon, they would either save it or watch it transform into an alien world. Either way, the final battle for Earth was about to begin. Saturn's rings glittered like diamond dust against the void as humanity's makeshift fleet held position in their shadow. Through the tsunami's enhanced sensors, Commander Rise watched the approaching anomaly that marked the World Drinker's emergence point. The massive alien vessel was about to exit fold space, and with it would come humanity's moment of truth. All ships, maintain quantum silence, Rise ordered through the fleet's encrypted channels. Let them think they're entering empty space. Through her neural link, she could feel the combined stealth fields of 33 vessels, their modified wave drives humming in perfect harmony, waiting to be unleashed. The void split open like a wound in reality. The World Drinker emerged, and even prepared as they were, its sheer scale stunned the fleet's crews into momentary silence. The crystalline vessel was larger than any human city, its geometric patterns forming a fractal lattice that seemed to fold in upon itself impossibly. Within its translucent structure, oceans worth of stolen water swirled, converted into exotic matter that powered its world-ending capabilities. By all that's holy, Lieutenant Chen whispered from his tactical station. How do we fight something like that? Together, Rise answered, her voice steady despite the pressure building behind her eyes from the neural interface. Battle formations, prepare to ride the wave. The fleet broke cover. Emerging from Saturn's rings in a precise geometric pattern they'd practiced countless times. The World Drinker's response was immediate and devastating. Energy beams lanced out from countless points on its crystalline surface, each capable of vaporizing a conventional warship. But these weren't conventional ships anymore. Now, Rise commanded, and through her neural link, she unleashed the tsunami's full power. Space itself buckled as the wave drive engaged at maximum output. The quantum wake spread outward, carrying the smaller ships along like surfers riding a monster wave. Enemy fire bent around their distorted space-time bubble, missing the fleet entirely. The World Drinker's defensive response revealed something crucial. Their quantum fields, Samara's voice cut through the neural link. They're having to actively maintain them against our distortions. It's draining their exotic matter reserves. Rise saw it too. The massive vessel's power signature was fluctuating as it attempted to compensate for the tsunami's space-time manipulation. Their theory had been correct. The sheer amount of exotic matter contained within the World Drinker made it vulnerable to quantum disruption. All ships, commence attack pattern Omega, Rise ordered. Concentrate fire on their field generators. The fleet split into predetermined groups, each riding a different quantum wake generated by the tsunami. They struck from multiple vectors, their modified weapons capitalizing on the momentary weaknesses in the World Drinker's defenses. Crystalline shards the size of buildings shattered into space. But the alien vessel's response was terrible to behold. Its entire structure began to shift, geometric patterns rearranging themselves into new configurations. Portions of its exotic matter reserves were vented directly into space, creating zones of distorted reality that threatened to tear apart any ship that ventured too close. 3 ships lost. Chen reported, his voice tight. The quantum turbulence is too strong in sectors 7 through 12. Reyes felt every loss through her neural link, each destroyed ship leaving a hole in their carefully coordinated attack pattern. But they had planned for casualties. The remaining vessels adjusted their formations automatically, maintaining the quantum resonance needed for their strategy to work. Then disaster struck. A massive energy surge from the World Drinker caught the Tsunami in a crossfire of exotic matter beams. The ship's quantum fields held, but the feedback through the neural interface was excruciating. Reyes felt as though her skull was being split open, her consciousness fragmenting across the ship's systems. Neural interface destabilizing. Samira's worried voice seemed to come from very far away. "Elena, you need to disconnect before." "No." Reyes fought through the pain, maintaining her connection with the ship. "We're too close. Divert all power to the wave drive. Every last joule. That'll overload the quantum core." Samira protested. "The feedback could kill you. If that thing reaches Earth, we're all dead anyway." Reyes managed through gritted teeth. "Do it." Power surged through the Tsunami systems, pushing the wave drive beyond its design limitations. Reyes felt the ship's pain as if it were her own body beginning to tear itself apart. But with the increased power came something unexpected. A deeper connection to the quantum fields they were generating. Through the haze of neural feedback, Reyes suddenly understood. The Meridians used exotic matter to force their will upon spacetime, but humanity had learned to work with it, to sense its natural flows and patterns. And right now, those patterns were telling her something crucial. "All ships, pull back to minimum safe distance," she ordered, her voice strained. "Prepare for maximum quantum wake." "Elena, what are you doing?" Samira demanded. "Something impossible." Reyes directed the Tsunami straight toward the World Drinker's heart, where its exotic matter reserves churned like a captive ocean. "Lieutenant Chen, on my mark. Fire everything we have directly into their main power core." "That close to their exotic matter containment?" Chen's voice was incredulous. "The quantum cascade would create a resonance loop," Reyes finished. Their own power turned against them. Through the neural link, she could feel the precise moment approaching. A convergence of quantum fields that would only exist for a fraction of a second. The World Drinker's defenses concentrated on the approaching tsunami, its energy weapons carving lines of fire through space. The ship's hull began to buckle under the assault, warning signals screaming through Reyes's consciousness. Now, the tsunami's quantum cascade weapons fired, their effect amplified by proximity to the alien vessel's power core. But it was the wave drive that delivered the killing blow. Instead of fighting against the World Drinker's quantum fields, they synchronized with them perfectly, then reversed polarity. Space itself seemed to scream as the exotic matter containment fields collapsed. The World Drinker's crystalline structure began to fracture, its stolen oceans breaking free in a spectacular display of quantum chaos. The massive vessel started to implode, drawn into the very distortions it had used to power its world-ending technology. "All ships, ride the quantum wake-out," Reyes commanded, her consciousness starting to fade as the neural interface overloaded. "Get clear of the collapse zone." The Tsunami's engines burned hard, carrying them away from the dying alien vessel. Through failing sensors, Reyes watched the World Drinker's death throes. Its crystalline structure twisted in impossible ways before finally shattering, the released exotic matter creating a brief, brilliant new star in Saturn's shadow. Then darkness took her, and Commander Elena Reyes knew nothing more. Commander Elena Reyes awoke to the gentle hum of medical equipment and the familiar sensation of lunar gravity. Her first conscious thought was of the neural link. Its absence left an emptiness in her mind, like losing a sense she hadn't known she had until the tsunami gave it to her. "Welcome back to the land of the living, Commander." Dr. Patel's voice was warm, though her holographic avatar showed signs of exhaustion. "You've been out for 3 weeks. Neural feedback nearly fried your synapses." Reyes tried to sit up, but her body felt distant, uncooperative. The fleet. The World Drinker. See for yourself. Samira gestured, and the medical bay's window transformed into a high-resolution display of Earth. The planet hummed there in space, its oceans still blue, its atmosphere untouched by alien transformation. We won. Your crazy plan actually worked. Memory flooded back. The desperate charge, the quantum resonance loop, the spectacular destruction of the World Drinker. The tsunami. Did she survive? Damaged but repairable. The wave drive exceeded every safety limit we built into it, but the core principles were sound. In fact, Samira's avatar smiled mysteriously. We learned something extraordinary from the battle telemetry, something that changes everything. Before she could elaborate, the medical bay door slid open. Admiral Chen entered, followed by several officers Reyes didn't recognize. Their uniforms marked them as representatives from various Earth nations. Commander Reyes, Chen began formally. How are you feeling? Ready to get back to work, Admiral. Reyes managed to sit up this time, her body slowly remembering how to move without the neural interface. Good, because what we discovered in the aftermath of the battle requires your expertise. Chen nodded to Samira, who expanded the holographic display. It showed the region of space where the World Drinker had been destroyed, but something was different. Reality itself seemed to ripple and fold in strange patterns. The quantum cascade effect didn't just destroy the World Drinker, Samira explained. It created something unprecedented, a permanent quantum wake zone. The exotic matter they used, combined with our wave drive technology, has fundamentally altered space-time in that region. We're calling it the Gateway, Chen continued, and preliminary probes suggest it's not just a spatial anomaly. It's a doorway to other parts of the galaxy, parts the Meridians came from. Reyes absorbed this information, her tactical mind already racing with implications. They'll be back, won't they? The Meridians will send another World Drinker, or something worse. Eventually, yes. Chen's expression was grim but determined. But this time, we'll be ready. The Gateway gives us access to their space, their worlds. We can take the fight to them if necessary. But more importantly, she smiled slightly. It gives us a chance to explore, to expand, to show them that humanity won't be confined to one world or system. The quantum wake technology you helped pioneer. Samira added, it's already being adapted for a new generation of ships. Vessels that can ride the space-time currents we've discovered, exploring deeper into the galaxy than we ever thought possible. The tsunami was just the beginning. A young officer stepped forward, offering Reyes a datapad. On it was a preliminary design for a new vessel, larger than the tsunami, incorporating everything they'd learned from the battle with the World Drinker. Meet the Typhoon-Class, Chen announced. Our first dedicated deep space exploration vessel. She'll need a commander who understands both the technology and the responsibility of representing humanity among the stars. Someone who's proven they can handle the neural interface and make impossible decisions when necessary. Reyes studied the design, feeling a familiar excitement building. The neural interface port at the base of her skull tingled with phantom sensation. When do we start? As soon as you're cleared for duty. The Gateway is already showing signs of increased activity. Something's stirring out there in the deep black, Commander. The Meridians were just the first contact. There are more civilizations waiting, some possibly friendly, others. Chen let the thought hang. We'll be ready for them, Reyes assured her, all of them. She looked back at the image of Earth, still blue, still safe, but no longer the limit of human ambition. The Meridians thought they could drink our worlds dry, use our oceans to fuel their empire. Instead, they gave us the keys to the galaxy and showed us something important about ourselves, Samira added. That humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our ability to adapt, to take what others would use to destroy us and transform it into something new, something uniquely ours. Through the window, Reyes could see the lunar shipyards where the tsunami was being repaired. Soon, it would be joined by sisters, an entire fleet of ships capable of riding the quantum waves between stars. The Meridians had meant to end humanity's story, but they had only forced us to write a new chapter. "Prepare the ship," Reyes ordered, already feeling stronger. "We have a galaxy to explore, and this time, we're riding the wave all the way out." In lunar orbit, the Tsunami's quantum wake drive pulsed softly, its revolutionary technology now a beacon lighting humanity's path to the stars. The oceans below remained safe, but they were no longer the greatest depths humanity would explore. The real deep blue lay ahead, in the endless sea of stars, where quantum waves waited to carry human ships to distant shores. The war for Earth's oceans was over. The age of human expansion had begun.